forward to address adequate public facilities ordinance, the Apfo open and close chart. Pardon?
Oh, there it is. That's not me.
And this is where we're going to make up some time, I'm guessing.
Sure. My presentation got moved on the screen, so I'm trying to find
That's
it. Okay. All right, thanks. Good evening. For the record, my name is Renee Kamen, Manager of School Planning. The item before you this evening is the approval of the 2018 School Capacity Chart, which is part of the Adequate Public Facilities Ordinance. The Apfo requires the yearly chart to be submitted by Hcpss and the Board of Education to the Howard County Council to inform the Apfo test. The annual report identifies capacity utilization for each elementary school, grades K through 5, and the middle schools, grades 6 through 8, as well as the elementary school regions that are constrained. The definition of constrained for this year is elementary or middle school or elementary school region at 115% capacity or more. The capacity utilization is defined under Policy 6000. Essentially, it's the projected number of student enrollment divided by the projected student capacity of the building. This chart is an example of how to read the school's capacities chart. I know it's really small on your screen. Blue indicates the projected school's capacity utilization under 90%. Green indicates the projected school capacity utilization between 90% and 115%. And red indicates the projected school capacity utilization above 150%. If the column next to the year is left blank, that means the school is opened. If the column is marked with the letter C, it indicates that the projected capacity is constrained, and the proposed project, if tested for the school year 2021 and 2022, the project then fails and gets stuck in the school waiting bin. I would suggest opening your board reports to look at this chart, but this is the illustration for the elementary school chart. The test year again is 2021. There are 7 elementary schools that are considered constrained, and there are no elementary school regions that are constrained by this chart. The 7 schools that are constrained are Bryant Woods, Running Brook, Hanover Hills, St. John's Lane, Fulton, Pointers Run, and Triadelphia Ridge. Above you is the 2018 middle schools chart. It, like its elementary school companion, shows the effects of redistricting from November 17. I also failed to mention that it is a result of the board's requested FY 2019 capacities and includes the 2017 projections. So it's all 4 of those factors combined to make the capacity chart before you. For the 2018 Apfo school capacity chart, 3 middle schools are constrained.
Could you say the names of the schools?
Oh, sure. You know, I failed to write those down, but I can tell you.
It's on the chart.
She must have heard
For the middle school,
People are listening, they'd like to know.
For the middle schools, it's Ellicott Mills Middle School, Dunlogan Middle School, and Murray Hill Middle School. As the board is aware, changes to Apfo occurred, and some of the changes are effective as of April 2018. These changes do affect the reporting provided by Hcpss and the Board of Education. The additional information is provided in your board report as attachment 2, pages 3 through 7. The information attached addresses approved changes from Council Bill 1, 2018, and is supplemental to the school capacity charts, which we're all familiar with. It includes the state and local rated capacities, the date of the last redistricting which impacted that particular attendance area, for any projected increase in enrollment, and indication of what portions of the increase are attributed to sales or rental turnover of existing residential units, new development, and other factors. And fourth is for any school designated as open on our school capacity chart, that's based on a capital improvement project or proposed redistricting associated with the capital improvement. the current and future funding assumptions for the capital improvement project, and the future redistricting assumptions, and an explanation of both if necessary. So for your information, in your packet, up on the screen on the left is the state-rated capacity comparison and the most recent redistricting. We chose to do the in effect year because sometimes redistricting's lasted over several years with open enrollment, and so it was just easier to identify when the last year of a redistricting took effect in. The green and white chart that's in your packet, the newly adopted Apfo requires that Hcpss report factors that contribute to growing enrollment. This chart compares the official enrollment for school year 2016 with a projection for school year 2017-2018, identifying schools with an enrollment increases projected. These charts are based on projections developed in the spring of 2017, the same projections that inform the May 18 Apfo or school capacity chart. The impact of the attendance area adjustments is actually excluded from these charts because the housing data made available in December 2016 was based on the existing attendance areas, and Hanover Hill was not yet created and was created in November 17. The section of the chart labeled Projected 2017 Student Yield shows the estimated breakdown of the contribution of each housing factor for each school year for 2017 and 2018. Counted here are students projected at each school, and these are new students to each school. Turnover of multifamily housing, resales of existing homes, and new construction. Other factors is everything else that we use in order to determine our projection and include all the contributing factors such as birth to kindergarten survival rates, cohort survival, any out-of-school adjustments to out-of-district counts, students who moved into an attendance area between birth and 5, and adjustments based on previous year accuracy. The last piece of information required is for any school designated as open on the school capacity chart based on a capital improvement project proposed for redistricting. This requirement highlights Talbot Springs Elementary School. Talbot Springs is open for new residential development in the test year 2021-2022 based on the additional seats proposed in the board's requested long-range plan in 2019. And so we have demonstrated that our funding requirements estimated to make that school opened. Yes, I see faces. It's a little odd, but that's what's currently on our long-range master plan. The next steps are the board to approve the school capacity chart submitted to Howard County Council for their adoption. The pre-file for this legislation is May 24th. And that will be for both the housing allocations and the school capacity. Then June 4th, the introduction of legislation to County Council. June 18th is the public hearing at County Council, just so that everybody that's listening out there, it's the County Council's public hearing. June 28th, if there are any amendments needed to that legislation, that's when the amendments are due. And then July 2nd is when County Council votes. And I'll take any questions.
Ms. Coombs?
So seeing that our next agenda item is Talbot Springs, how can we vote on this, on Talbot Springs being a part of this?
So I think it could be handled, I think you could postpone this vote until after that decision if you wanted to, depending on the conversation that's going to be had with the construction staff.
Right.
So that you could do, or you could make a vote to pass it now, and then you can choose to make an amendment at a later date based on the CIP, which will be adopted May 31st. And County Council staff is fully aware of this situation.
So colleagues, what do we want to do?
Can I ask for some clarification?
Yes.
Ms. Kamen?
Yes.
So if we were to decide not to vote on the Apfo chart tonight, would the world come to an end?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted,
Hence the amendment option.
The suggestion on waiting was not for beyond tonight, but for after the
next presentation.
the next presentation. Ms. French?
I'm in favor of voting now, and given additional information, we can always make a change.
Mrs.
But I
French,
have-
since you weren't at the closed meeting,
There may be part of the conversation we're going to have next that you're not familiar with because of the closed meeting we had.
That's okay. I need to still ask my
Doesn't really
question.
change the ability to amend.
My next question is, help me understand the correlation of the information. For example, on the first chart that you've given us, attachment 1, there's 3 schools that are constrained for next year, or 21, 22. One is, as an example, Triadelphia Ridge. Help me understand how that works with page 5, where Triadelphia Ridge is supposedly losing 10 students I believe next year, or halves. Oh, is that we have from 16 to 17? We
Yeah.
lost, so it's a look in the past, whereas the chart is a look in the future.
So it's a little bit of both. Because the chart on page 5 does not include the redistricting decisions made in November 17. There's that lag, that difference. So the redistricting decision from 2017-18 changed the projection from this chart. But because of the timing of the redistricting, the timing of the chart, and the production of our projections, it's very difficult for us to go back to actually show the change for this Apfo chart based on the redistricting decision. So it was an in-between step that occurred. So that's why the green chart, even though Triadelphia Ridge projection was supposed to go down, because redistricting decisions, it actually affected the Apfo chart to go up.
So the Apfo chart is, do you mind me just?
Please, go ahead.
So the Apfo chart it does reflect the redistricting.
Yes.
This one
But
does.
this thing does not.
Yes. Because we had no way, because of the way the housing projection is done, we have no way of actually going back without taking 3 months out of the whole process to
So is
regenerate.
this isn't really that valuable to the county council then?
See, and this is the discussion we had during the APFO, because I think what the intended consequence is and the availability of us giving them the data are 2 different points. So we're trying to do the best with what we have, and understanding that different decisions go into it. And so this was the best of what we could to respond to the council's request.
Okay.
Yeah.
When can you update it?
It'll actually be, there'll be a similar chart in the feasibility study that's coming to you in June. So we're trying to set up the feasibility study to match now a little bit of the information to provide in the APFO chart.
So if anybody tries to make decisions based on
Yeah.
this chart, then that's
That's not good.
foolish.
Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Ellis?
I'd like to move to approve the APFO information we've gotten today and consider, if we have to amend based on our discussion of Talbot Springs or what comes further down the line, if this is what we need to move forward, I would like to move we approve today.
Second.
So the motion is move approval with the,
So it was to move approval of the AFO chart.
right.
The board
With the-
knows that you have the option to submit an amendment later. That doesn't really need to be part
That
of
doesn't
the
need to be in
motion.
the motion.
No.
Thank you.
Okay.
So we have a motion by Ms. Ellis and a second by Mrs. French. Are you ready to vote?
I
Yes.
had one question.
Okay, Dr.
Quick.
Hoover.
High schools are not on here.
That's
They-
correct.
That's right.
Even though they did change the APFO, they do now include high schools in the APFO chart.
Not until January 1st, 2019. So the chart
January
that,
1st,
2019.
The next time
next.
January comes
But we
around.
shouldn't be putting it in this report so that we can have projections?
Well, no, because this report is specifically for the 2018
Okay.
requirement.
This is just checking a box.
That's all.
Okay, ready?
Yes?
Ms. Coombs?
Yes.
Ms. Selbrady?
Yes.
Dr. Altwerger?
Yes.
Ms. Valencourt?
Yes.
Ms. Ellis?
Yes.
Ms. Delma Small?
No.
Mrs. French?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-1.
Thank you, everyone.